Good evening, students. Today I am going to teach about the aggregate supply function, total supply function. In the last class, we have studied about aggregate demand function. Today we are taking aggregate supply function. Aggregate supply, ASF, aggregate supply function. Aggregate supply is increasing function of level of employment. Value of total output of goods and services produced in an economy in a year. That is nothing but AS. It refers to the value of total output of goods and services produced in an economy in a year. Okay, so one more meaning, aggregate supply is nothing but value of national product or national income. Value of country's product or national income. One more meaning for aggregate supply, needed amount of workers and materials. Workers and materials are needed to produce necessary output or necessary product. That is called AS, that is aggregate supply. Once again I will repeat, required or needed amount of workers and materials which will be used to produce necessary output or product. Employers, what they will do now, they will hire workers, purchase various inputs and raw materials. They will purchase various inputs and raw materials and they will produce goods. Production of goods, it involves costs. Okay. If revenue from sale of output, revenue, income, varmanam. If revenue from sale of output exceeds cost of production, entrepreneur, they would be encouraged to employ more workers and other inputs. For what purpose? To produce more goods. Okay. If revenue from the sale of output exceeds cost of production, entrepreneur, they would be encouraged to employ more workers and other inputs also to produce more. Or if revenue is greater than cost. If revenue is greater than cost, they would be encouraged to employ more workers and other inputs. Okay, now next one is next paragraph. The meaning of aggregate supply price. Total supply price. What is that? Total amount of money that all entrepreneurs expect to get from the sale of the output. That is called aggregate supply price. Entrepreneurs, they are otherwise known as organizers or changing agent of the society. Total amount of money that all the entrepreneurs expect to receive from the sale of output is called aggregate supply price. Okay, now I am going to teach what is the meaning of price. Price, that is nothing but amount of money received from the sale of output. Amount of money we are getting from the sale of output, that is called a price. So there are different aggregate price, different total price for different level of employment. Understood? There are different aggregate price. Aggregate means total price for different levels of employment. Okay, now we are going to see the components of aggregate supply. What are all the four components of aggregate supply? You refer the 4 points. First one, aggregate consumption expenditure. That is total consumption expenditure indicated by the letter C. Okay, next component, aggregate private savings. Private oda savings, total private savings, letter indicated as yes. Now third one, net tax payment. Net tax payments, T, that is total tax payment to be received by the government. You know what is tax? Okay, that is tax. The meaning is legally compulsory payment. Legally compulsory payment imposed by the government. Imposed by the government. That is called a tax. Compulsory payment. Total tax payment to be received by the government minus government expenditure. What are they? Transfer payments, subsidy, interest payment to be incurred by the government. I think you all understood. Third component is net tax payment. That letter is indicated by T. That is nothing but tax payment to be received by the government minus government expenditure. What are they? Transfer payments, subsidy and interest payment to be incurred by the government. That is the third component of aggregate supply, total supply. Fourth one, personal transfer payments. Personal transfer payments to the foreigners, RF. Okay, so the formula is aggregate supply is equal to C plus S plus T plus RF is equal to aggregate income, total income generated in the economy. Once again I will repeat, aggregate supply is equal to C, that is nothing but consumption, total consumption expenditure. Yes, that is nothing but aggregate private savings. T, net tax payment plus RF. RF personal transfer payments to the foreigners is equal to aggregate income generated in the economy. I think you all know about transfer payment. Transfer payment government makes payment in the form of pension, unemployment allowance and also subsidies. That is called a transfer payment. Now you refer the diagram. This diagram, it shows shape of two AS curve. Shape of two aggregate supply curve drawn for the assumption of fixed money wages and variable wages. Fixed, constant, fixed money wages and variable variable wages. Now you refer the diagram. What it is given in the x-axis, NF line given, expected proceeds it is given in y-axis. That Z curve, it is a linear curve where money wages fixed, money wages remain fixed. Z1 curve, it refers to non-linear, that is non-linear, that means where wage rate increases with employment. Wage rate increases with employment. I think you all understood, I think. One more time I will repeat. This diagram, it shows the shape of two AS curve, aggregate supply curve, drawn for the purpose of, for the assumption of fixed money wages and variable wages. Z curve, it refers to linear curve where money wages remain fixed. Z1 curve, it is non-linear where wage rate increases with employment. When full employment level of NF is reached, it is not possible to increase the output by employing more workers. Okay, so total supply curve become inelastic. That means no change. Total supply curve become inelastic curve or vertical straight line. Vertical straight line. Inelastic means no change. Now the next paragraph you refer, slope of aggregate supply, total supply. Slope of total supply curve, it depends on the relationship between employment and productivity. That is nothing but it depends on the relation between employment and productivity. Here the capital stock is fixed. Fixed no change. So the law of diminishing marginal returns, diminishing, marginal additional, law of diminishing marginal returns takes place as more workers are employed. So aggregate supply curve, it slopes upwards. In reality, aggregate supply curve like Z1. So AS, aggregate supply, it depends on the relationship between price and wages. In reality, aggregate supply curve like Z1. Okay, you refer the diagram. AS, it depends on the relation between price and wages. If prices are high, wages low. Producers, they will try to employ workers. If prices are low, wages high, investment will be curtailed and output will be fall. So there is a reduction in productive capacity. Therefore, aggregate supply is important to determine the level of economic activity. I think you all understood. If once again I will repeat, if prices are high, wages low, producers what they will do now? They will try to employ workers. If prices are low, wages high, investment will be stopped and output also will fall. So there is a reduction in productive capacity. So aggregate supply is important to determine the level of economic activity. Now next side heading, equilibrium between ADF and ASF. ADF, that is nothing but aggregate demand function. ASF, that is nothing but aggregate supply function. According to Keynes theory of employment, two-sector economy, it consists of one is household sector and another one is business sector. According to Keynes theory of employment, two-sector economy, you know very well, it consists of household sector and business sector is taken to understand the equilibrium between ADF and ASF. So consumption expenditure decisions are taken by individual households, while investment decisions are taken by business firms. For two-sector economy, one is household sector and another one is business sector. Consumption expenditure decisions are taken by individual households. Investment decisions are taken by business firms. So consumption function is linear. Consumption function is linear and planned investment is autonomous. Planned investment is autonomous. Now you refer the diagram 3.3. There are two approaches to determine the level of income equilibrium. Two approaches. One is aggregate demand, aggregate supply approach. Aggregate demand and aggregate supply approach. Second one is saving and investment approach. Aggregate demand you know very well, total demand. Aggregate supply, that is nothing but total supply. Saving investment approach equilibrium level of income can be determined by the intersection of investment and saving function. That is, equilibrium level of income can be determined by the intersection of investment and saving function. That is called saving investment approach. Out of these two approaches, AD and AS approach is very useful to understand the determination of equilibrium level of income and employment. Income and employment. Now next one, next para, AD and AS. AD, that is aggregate demand, that is nothing but consumption demand plus investment demand. Consumption demand plus investment demand. Aggregate supply it is the second determinant of effective demand. Both AD and AS reach the equilibrium at point E. At point E. Employment level, you refer the diagram. Employment level is NO. At ON, x-axis, you refer x-axis. At ON1 employment, aggregate supply is N1 R1. Refer the diagram. Diagram explanation I am teaching now. AD and AS reach equilibrium at point E. Employment level is NO. At ON1 employment, aggregate supply is N1 R1. They are able to produce M1 N1. Expected level of profit is M1 R1. Expected level of profit is M1 R1. So, to attain profit, to get profit, entrepreneurs will employ more workers. That is till point E. Diagram explanation once again I will teach. You refer the diagram. AD and AS reach equilibrium at point E. Employment level is NO. At ON1 employment, aggregate supply is N1 R1. They are able to produce, they can produce M1 N1. Expected level of profit is M1 R1. So, to get profit, entrepreneurs will employ more workers. More workers. At level of employment beyond ONO, beyond ONO, AD is below AS curve. It indicates loss to producers. Loss to produce, not profit. So, they never employ more than ONO labor. ONO labor. So, in Keynesian system, effective demand I have told already, it will determine the equilibrium level of output in capitalist economy. I think you all understood. So the difference between NO minus NF is difference between NO and NF is the level of unemployment. Level of unemployment. So ED, effective demand, is important to explain the underemployment equilibrium. Underemployment equilibrium. This is the explanation for equilibrium between ADF and ASF. I think you all understood. Now we are going to see the comparison between classism and kinesthetism. This is short period. Next one is long period classism. Saving, it is a vice, that is a classical school. Saving is a social virtue. Here the function of money is a medium of exchange. Medium of exchange, that is nothing but one can buy goods and services of his choice in exchange for money on one side and store of value on the other side. Here classism side, the function of money, it acts as the medium of exchange. Next, fourth point, macro approach. Macro approach large level approach to national countries problem, national problems. Here micro approach, very small approach to macro problem. Here state intervention is followed. Here laissez-faire policy, that is nothing but minimum intervention of government. Okay, state intervention is minimum. Next is sixth point, it is applicable to all situations, full employment and less than the full employment. Here classism school, it is applicable only to the full employment situation. Here capitalism as inherent. Here capitalist economy is well and good. Budgeting should be adjusted to the need requirements of the economy. Here balanced budget. Next, ninth point, equality between saving and investment through changes in income. Here the equality through between S and I, that is saving and investment, is achieved through rate of interest. Changes in rate of interest. Here 10th point, rate of interest is determined by demand for money and supply of money. Demand for money and supply of money. Here the rate of interest is determined by saving and investment. Here kinesthetism, rate of interest is flow. Here rate of interest is stock. Okay, now 12th point, demand creates its own supply. That side supply creates its own demand. Next, rate of interest is reward for liquidity, cash holdings, that is nothing but cash holdings. Here rate of interest is a reward for saving. Next, summary side. So Keynes challenged the classical economic theory regarding the merits of state intervention in market. It led to widespread in both economic theory and government policies worldwide in the post-World War II period. Okay, till this enough. Thank you, children.